Hey guys, welcome back. We'll continue with the book Cracking Codes with Python, and in this video we're going to cover a cipher that's impossible to hack. It's the One-Time Pad Cipher. Let's jump right in. In one of the previous episodes we learned about the Vigenère Cipher, and with just a small adjustment we can turn it into the One-Time Pad Cipher, which is impossible to hack. However, the One-Time Pad Cipher is quite inconvenient to use, and therefore it's often reserved for just the most top secret messages. A one-time pad cipher is actually a Vigenère cipher that fulfills three different criteria. First, the key being used has to be exactly as long as the encrypted message. Then the key also needs to be made up of truly random symbols. And the key is only used once and never again for any other message. So by following these three rules, we can make our encrypted message unbreakable for any hacker. So let's have a closer look at the requirements of the one-pad cipher to understand why this truly helps us make our message unhackable. As we covered previously, it is possible to hack the Vigenère cipher by using frequency analysis, but if the key is actually the same length as the message, each plaintext letter subkey is unique and therefore each one has this equal probability. So let's look at an example. We can take the plaintext message: if you want to survive out there, you've got to know where your towel is. And of course we can remove all the spaces and punctuation, and then our message is going to have 55 letters. So our key also needs to have 55 letters to be encrypted using the one-pad cipher. So here we have that example, we have our plaintext, then we have the key with an equal number of letters and the ciphertext that results. Now if we assume that a hacker gets a hold of our ciphertext, they may want to try to break this, but brute forcing through the keys really won't work, because with 55 letters here, no computer would be powerful enough to break this. Because each of those subkeys of course can have 26 different options, all the letters of the alphabet, and we have 55 letters, so therefore there are a total of 26 to the power of 55 keys, which is equal to this huge number here, so a computer won't be able to break that. And even if we had a computer that was powerful enough to try out all those different key options, it still wouldn't be possible to break that message, because for any ciphertext, all the possible plaintext messages are equally likely. To understand that better, let's have a look at an example. We can see that we have this ciphertext over here by applying our key here. But if we are brute forcing this ciphertext here to figure out which combination of keys is going to result in some valid English plaintext, we could actually use different keys to get English text, but of course it would lead to different English text. So the original plaintext was of course, if you want to survive out there, you've got to know where your towel is. But if we use the brute force approach, we could figure out this key here, which is different from the key being used to encrypt the message, with the same ciphertext here. But this is going to get us a different result. In fact, our plaintext here, while it's proper English, is actually incorrect. So here we would get back: the myth of Osiris was of importance in ancient Egyptian religion. And the reason we can hack any encryption at all is that typically there's only one key that decrypts the message to proper English, but as we've seen here, we can use in this case two different keys that would both decrypt to proper English, but in one case it's a completely wrong message to the one that we actually encrypted. Now the second requirement for using the one-time pad cipher and making it truly unbreakable is that the letters used are truly random. And as we've learned before, there's a random module in Python, but that doesn't generate truly random numbers. In fact, the random module uses an algorithm that creates numbers that only appear random. In most cases that's good enough. However, for the one-time pad cipher to be truly secure, it has to be an actual random number. Otherwise there would be ways to actually break it. And in order to generate truly random numbers, we can open up idle and import the secrets module that comes with Python. And to generate a truly random number, we can then call one of the functions which are part of the secrets module, for example rand below 10, which in this case gives us the number 3. And those functions which are part of the secrets module are less performant compared to the random module, so therefore we generally only would use it if we need true randomness, as in this case. In other cases we would just work with the random module. If we wanted to generate a truly random subkey, which is of course what we need in the case of the one-time pad cipher, we can use the choice function, which is part of the secrets module, and then pass the letters of the alphabet to it, and that's gonna give us back one of the letters in truly random fashion. And to generate a random key that's 55 letters long, we could just use a for loop. Before that, we can define a variable, for example OTP, and set it to an empty string. And then we're going to use a for loop to loop 55 times. And we are simply going to append a random letter of the alphabet to our empty string. And once we've done that, we can simply have a look at the variable OTP. And here we have our random key that has 55 random letters in it. Now the third requirement for our one-time pad cipher to be truly secure is that we only use the key once. In fact, if we were to use, for instance, a two-time pad cipher, so that means we would use the same key for 2 messages, then our encryption would be vulnerable, because in that case we would have 2 different ciphertexts that a hacker could obtain, and then an attacker could basically look at different keys that would work out for the first message, and then also try it on the second message. And if it doesn't translate to proper English for the second text, but for the first text, then we know that key is not correct, and therefore we can basically deduce what a proper key might be, because the likelihood there's more than one key that would encrypt a ciphertext to proper English for 2 separate messages is of course a lot lower compared to just a single message, and therefore we are only going to use our key one time, and then for the next message we would generate a new key. So let's have a look at the practice questions. The first question is, why isn't the one-time pad program presented in this chapter? And the reason for that is that it's basically the same as the Vigenère Cipher, with the only difference being that we would make sure that the key has the same length as our message, and of course that the key is truly random and that it's used only one time to encrypt a message. Second question is, which cipher is the two-time pad cipher equivalent to? So the two-time pad cipher is equivalent to the Vigenère Cipher, and that is the case because if we use our secret key twice, then it can be attacked just as the Vigenère Cipher and is therefore insecure. And the final question is, would using a key twice as long as a plaintext message make the one-time pad twice as secure? And that's not the case, because if we encrypt a message actually using a key that's longer than a plaintext message, then those additional letters that are longer than the message just wouldn't be used, and therefore the security is not increased. The one-time pad cipher is a way to make the Vigenère Cipher invulnerable to hacking by making sure that the key is as long as the message, the key is truly random, and is used only once. However, because the one-time pad cipher is so inconvenient to use, it's rarely used in everyday encryption. In the next video we're going to cover how to find and generate prime numbers. Feel free to subscribe to the channel to not miss any videos, and see you guys in the next video.